welcome. This is Ayana Lehi, and I am so very happy that you are here with all of us today in this week's episode of Be One, Be You. We are diving into the theme, the shadow playing out on Earth. Let's start out with framing what the word shadow means in transformational work. It usually means the part of ourself that has not yet been awakened. It is asleep in its own story. The story within our psyche can stay the same for 4 lifetimes, for many lifetimes actually, because we bring the same unresolved challenges forward with us as we take on new forms. We can shift out of a shadow simply by bringing our awareness into it. And most of us are shown role models where we are taught that we put out onto other people, into our society, into our culture, into our collective thinking, into our community, our shadow self, that it becomes the container for what is unresolved in ourself. And so the collective thinking patterns hold together the stories, the imprints, the impressions, the actual sanskaric patterns, the deep impressions within side of ourself, or the collective container can hold a new wavelength of creating as one with the infinite source within ourself. There is a trajectory, a blueprint that is in our cellular level. That is the way that light and dark play in our consciousness. Your consciousness is created from how your cells are awakened in the light within you or are resting and oftentimes sleeping. The mental body in all of us can take over. And the mental body has roots into the central nervous system, the central spiritual channel inside of you is affected by your nervous system. Your nervous system, yes, is the expression and I'll call it your receptivity and action generator. It's your think tank inside. And it receives the roots of your mind, your mental body, and your emotional body, and your soul. So you have these networks happening inside of you, and this network system is stimulated, triggered through the events in your life, through what you go through, how you see yourself, how you don't see yourself. The shadow that's playing out on Earth right now is the unresolved issues of hatred, humiliation, and anger. The underlying levels of fear that are in our cellular system creates the breakthroughs that are happening in these times where many of you are wanting to share what you really feel and know to be true. You want to give voice to yourself. You want to speak your truth. You want to see positive action happen in your community, in your country, and in the world. The fastest way to find your true power so that you can break through your unseen, unexpressed, and hidden parts of you that hold tight the true power that you are is to be connected into your awakening journey, your inner work, your inner play, your inner presence that is your truth self and how it manifests. You might choose the path of wanting to lead others. You might choose through being in relationship with another person, deeply with your work and how you communicate. You might choose to go totally creative and trust that through your creativity, you're soothing, mending, and healing yourself. You might choose to create structure, foundation, a framework for your industry, the career that you are pursuing, and to model a new way of being. You might choose to be an athlete in your body, a yogini, a yoga teacher. You might choose to be a coach and to teach the physical and mind state that it takes to really overcome the mind. You might choose to run a home, to create harmony with your plants, animals, with the children you might bring in or are raising. You might choose the path of inner mysticism as a writer, as a poet, someone who loves to be in nature and spend time with you and Source. You might choose to be in finance and to bring justice and kindness and universality into business. You might choose to really want to show up and listen to others, guide them, and create new vision. We're all connected into the source within ourselves that is awakened through the light. In this time period, the light is destined to emerge. And the Spirit Gateways Institute is committed and devoted to supporting your path that's natural for you into the awakened state of being whole in you, whole, complete, your light and dark, your shadow and your gifts, your awakened self, your unawakened self, to come together and bust through from duality in yourself, separation into oneness. And that's what this work is dedicated to. And that encompasses all the parts of the unseen, unheard, unfelt part of yourself. The qualities of polarity and duality are what's playing out on Earth right now. So to really get down in here, down in your body, coming down from the head, moving down into your heart, looking for the light spark in your heart, and to drop down into your pelvis, all the way down into the root center, the space between your pubic bone and your tailbone. And to know that's a truly sacred spot a powerful point in your energetic light matrix. You are here to transform. You are here to break through the places in yourself that were scarred, wounded, burnt through betrayal to your soul. What I've experienced is the more that I awaken to the atrocities that I have witnessed over lifetimes and the human crisis of hurting one another emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, I realize what a gift it is to be a human who's awakening and to leave behind through facing it how we hurt ourselves, how we judge ourselves, how we humiliate ourselves. We can be really hard on ourselves. I grew up in a home where there was tremendous judgment, and being in a female body, I got more of it. And what I've been recently feeling was how humiliation happens all the time. And that realization came about through recognizing at a even deeper level how I was humiliated all the time as a young child. And humiliation can happen through overjudging yourself. That keeps your shadow self stuck, the shadow part that wants to really emerge, really speak its truth. We're living in a time of yes, speaking our truth. All of us are facets of God. We awaken to the light within us through being patient and kind, directive and confrontive with our own self. And we're living in a world right now where both sides are playing out the confrontation and the direct, honest connection, the direct, honest relationship to ourself, to be willing to see and feel and hear in ourself how we have been pushed aside by ourself, by our own thoughts, how we have been held down, pushed aside in ourself. Even when you say you might feel so confident, that confidence can be squashed or struck down by your higher self in the moment saying, be real, be authentic, really face what's really happening inside of you. Those of you who have come through an addiction to a drug, to alcohol, to ways of behaving, you understand that you have to confront your actions. How can you be even more of a living example for others who have yet to confront even the way they speak to somebody else? The awakening to an outer addiction helps us become aware of our inner addiction to how we treat ourselves, how we treat others, how we empower the ego. Because all of us, whether we have an external addiction or have had an external addiction or not, we are all in relationship to repressing the true voice, the true power within inside of ourself. So how do you repress, press down, put in a container, a little box inside of you, that truth part of you, track it back to being a child and how you were supported or unsupported with speaking your truth, being who you really are. Were you supported and cheered on, or you judged, criticized, or steered a different direction off of what your perceptions really were and are, so that you would not be a threat to anyone else, seen as ridiculous or an outcast or outrageous or wrong, because you felt, saw something inside of yourself, that spark of inner truth that comes from all of your awakening moments over thousands of lifetimes. You know injustice, you know hatred, you know pain, you know shame, and you know humiliation. Some of you were born into a family where there was humiliation through the family shadow. Some of you were born into families of full acceptance, and you were ready on a soul level to accept yourself. Yes, it's possible to be born into a family where the karma of that family unit is that of acceptance. And you are here in this lifetime to learn that self-acceptance. And there's many of you who were born into a family of complete unacceptance for anything that's different from what they believe. And your life lesson, your soul commitment is your soul is helping your emotional heart and mind to realize that you need, deserve, are worthy of being accepted. So we have to start with accepting ourself to break through the hidden, repressed, forgotten self inside that hangs out in the dark zone, in the pubic bone, tailbone area. So yeah, I'm cycling back around to that root center. That's where you want to bring the light in. Even though the earth is going through a lot of traumatic actions against it, it still is the source of creation. It holds that awareness. And so the earth herself teaches us inside of Mother Earth is light. And it is the feminine power. It is the feminine side of God. And she is strong. And whether you are in a male body or in a female body, you have the same access to that light. And that light will transform whatever is hidden in the shadow in between your pubic bone and tailbone. You want to bring that light up. You close your eyes, you bring your focus down through your heart, your solar plexus under your rib cage, your lower belly down into that root center, and keep going into the earth. Find that light in the earth and bring it up. It's a flame of light. Some of you might see it as a crystal of light. Bring that source energy up through your feet, through your legs. Ignite yourself. Bring it into the space between your pubic bone and tailbone. Allow your life energy to begin to open. and it will shift your creativity, your sexual energies, and your relationship with your personal power and how you're showing up. You bring that light all the way in to the root center, and then you connect it into your heart. And those 2 points are 2 points I'd love to invite you to be connected into this week. So just so you know, in the Spirit Gateways major program that you find in the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Village, you're going to be able to be mentored and guided into and through your passageway into the full awakening into yourself, into the light of the whole being that you are, so that you can make the greatest difference that you came here to make and to live the extraordinary life that you are here to make. As all of us here on earth are taking choices to heart right now. And we are part of breaking through this choice point on planet Earth of coming through the downside of continuing patterns that prevent the hearts and souls of humanity to live together and to understand duality, but not be the effect and pulled into creating so much pain and suffering for one another. Make use of your own inner suffering to awaken. And yeah, we go through that door so that you can be that brilliant light of truth, so that you can succeed in your life spiritually and materially. And that's the story that you find in the Spirit Gateways offerings. I invite you to come to my website, just get subscribed in so you can be kept informed of everything that's being released. It's Ayana Lahi, IANALAHI.com. Until next week, holding you in much love.